Welcome. Welcome to the Virgo New Moon happening September 14th, 2023. I am Amber J of Woman on Fire Mastermind, and this is to support you in this fall season. We're going back to school. We are transitioning into if you've been with me over the years, we talk about the sacred tree. So in the spring, it's new ideas, new relationships, new workout routines, right? New ideas percolating. And then the tree blossoms and blooms in full bloom. That's our summer. It's full expression. And the seasons, fall happens. Fall happens. So we get to let go of what no longer serves, the things in our life that have come to fruition and full cycle. And now in fall, the leaves start to fall off the trees, creating space for what's next. If a tree keeps a leaf, if it holds on to a leaf, and this is a very potent metaphor for our lives, if we hold on to something that no longer serves us, this leaf that is dead on the tree, it will kill the tree. This helped me so much to understand everything in our life has cycles. That includes our relationships, jobs, workout routines, gyms, food, behaviors, beliefs. Maybe I had a belief about certain things in my life, about who I am in the world, and now I get to let that go. So it's a beautiful time to reflect, and we're in all the re's, the retrogrades of so many planets. And in particular, Mercury is still in retrograde as we are in this new moon. So we get to revisit, review, look at the things in our life, what's working and what's not working. You don't have to take action now. I repeat, warning sign. Like, we get to notice the lessons we've learned, the new behaviors we've put into action, and we review them. Oh, that's working. Oh, that is not working. And actually what we're going to get called to, spoiler alert, in this new moon reading, this Virgo new moon reading, is we're going to have some big desires to make movements. I've had a desire that really got planted in my head to move to Mexico, I know people are pulling out of their chairs. My friend has a retreat down there. I'm going to host a retreat down there in 2024. Put it on your calendar. We're going to Mexico probably in April. I was going to do it in January, and the dates all booked up. So we got to figure out the dates, but I'm called to the warm waters. Venice the water is always cold here. And it used to be sunny and 72 all the time, and it's not. It's really been a socked in season, and it's depressing. I live at the beach to be in the sun, and so I'm being called. However, it cautions us, like, have the thought, write down those big ideas, leaving the job, leaving the relationship, leaving the behavior. Like, really, I'm really looking at cutting alcohol out of my life. It is it doesn't serve me anymore. And I don't know that it ever served me, but it was definitely a tool that I have leaned on heavily in my life. And it is part of our culture. If you haven't read the book, check out the book, Quit Like a Girl, Quit Like a Woman. It's about how alcohol is so ingrained in our culture, and how it just doesn't support our next level and whatever. But it's such a behavior I have. So I'm looking at it. I'm not quitting cold turkey. I'm looking at, tools to support me in it, and noticing how much better I feel and clearer I am when I don't have that. So what is that thing in your life maybe that you've been doing since you were, I don't know, 12? For me, I was drinking and smoking at 12 and in a field in Missouri, and how at 51 that is not who I am. Like, I quit the smoking years ago, and the drinking is like still ingrained in me in some as a it's a like a muscle memory. So I'm very much looking at what are those things. Now, do not in this retrograde is not a good time to make any big judgments, any big decisions. We need to wait till after this new moon, um, and sit with it, but write it down, these ideas. What's great about Mercury retrograde gets such a bad rap, but it's such a creative time. So if we use it as it's a time to percolate these ideas, these new thoughts, write them down. I can't stress enough, write it down. So many of us are like, oh, I remember, I got it in my head. I know what it is. There is an actual study, a truth in, and I can't cite it, so don't ask me to cite it, but that there is a neural knowing. And I've been doing a lot of work on this lately. I'm in a course right now about this of dreaming it in your mind. You know, what we create, our words create our world. Well, if I see it, I believe it. It comes into the physical, and there is a process in that of having the thought in the mind and then writing it down on paper. It brings it into the physical, and repetition brings it into the physical, and vice versa. If I write my affirmations, my desire in repetition, that I'm also planting those seeds in my mind. Now's the time for that. Percolating, planting the seeds, creating these ideas. So write it down, write it down. If something pops into your head and you're like, oh, go to Disneyland. Oh, go to that gym. Go check out that gym. Go to that coffee shop. Follow the leads, follow the intuitive leads. We are back in the Pussy book, by the way, for those who have done Woman on Fire Mastermind. Or are interested in it. One of the curriculum is Pussy or Reclamation, and it should be have to reading for any girl, frankly. I wish I had this when I was a teenager, to claim my power as a woman. Really, everything begins and ends in the divine feminine. And our culture has had us believe otherwise. But we create life. Life begins and ends with us. So, the masculine goes to war for us to protect us. And we have been denying ourselves this. So let's reclaim it. If you haven't read that book already, reread it. But it really is about tuning into your GPS, which is your what is it? Your global pussy system. Your intuitive knowing, from your pleasure, from your knowing, your divine knowing. Okay, I'm so haven't even started. Plant seeds. This is the Virgo new moon happening September 14, 2023. Plant seeds, new habits, new thoughts. How can I create new perspectives? How can I create new in my life? What new is looking to birth through me, birth through the ground, the seeds I plant? The theme, it's a little chaotic. Like I just said, there is so many planets in retrograde. So if you think it's the rewind, it's the review, it's imagining, rewriting our script, relaxing, chill the F out. So practice your self-care. If you've been off your self-care game, this is the reminder to go back to it. Another read. Lots of retrograde. And if you even reflect back to August 1st, you are a different person a month later. Think of all the things, and this is an assignment for you, is to reflect on this summer. Go back. We did this in Women on Fire also. Go back to May 2023, and go through your calendar and look at all the things you did. You went to this party, you went to the beach, you maybe went on a vacation. Where did you go in June? What were you struggling with? What was a concern in June? How did you work through it? Right? What happened in July? Did you go to a 4th of July party? I go to the um canals and watch the duck races, the rubber ducky races. Who were you hanging out with in July? Then August, where did you travel to? Did you take time for yourself or did you power through? Just noticing all that you created in the last 3 or 4 months in that season. We continue to just power through and crank it and kill it. And like we just went through a whole season, y'all. What did you create? I know you created something. You did something. I redid my whole roof. I went through a cancer season. It started in May. I was done in August. Like that's a season. That's an accomplishment. What did I learn in that season? I asked for help. I received it. I took it when it was offered, as opposed to saying, no, I got it. I believe that is why I had the cancer in the first place, is protecting, like armoring up my heart, not allowing others in, not coming from open-heartedness, but powering through, sucking it up, doing it anyway, not being aligned with the things I was doing in my life. Beautiful reflection. Thank you for the whisper. I do not want the scream, right? So noticing the lessons. So many changes. We went through the 8-8 portal. We had 2 full moons. We had a blue moon in August. There has been a lot of big energy, chaotic potentially energy. You are getting in a Virgo season. We're learning our roots. We are who am I? We have a tendency that the like toxic side of Virgo is the overthinking, the obsessing over things, the perfectionism of things. But she's also order. She's also rootedness and grounding. And so we're getting an opportunity with all this chaotic energy, and there's a lot of changes. Like life isn't the same, and it's not going to be the same. Like this is your wake up call to know that it's not going back to normal, whatever normal is. Like we are in an ever evolving time, and it's evolving that much faster now. And this is an opportunity to root yourself in the chaos, knowing that things are going to change. And I am always enough. I am rooted in knowing who I am, that I am worthy of whatever I choose to do and or have around me. I am releasing that old lack or self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is a big theme in this Virgo new moon. Leo agrees. Leo is all about it. He's under here. He's preaching with me. So root yourself. An opportunity to look at, and the reflection over the last season is looking at how far I've come, how far I've grown, how I've set boundaries, how I have created my world. I'm not just at effect of the world, but I'm at affect of the world. My words create my world. I am creating the world I desire. And if I don't like what's happening, I can change it, because it all starts with me, in particular, because I'm a birther of things in the world. Being the divine feminine, I birth everything that is in the world. So when I know I am source of it all, I can create. If I want something different, I can create it. And it is an opportunity to write it down, write it down, write it down. Did I mention writing it down? Write it down, write it down. Yeah, big moves. I talked about the big moves. Chaos is here to support you shaking the limbs, to release the leaves. So good. You are rooted. The tree is rooted. You aren't going anywhere. You're here. And it is fall. We shake off the leaves that no longer serve us. They fall to the ground to create space for what's next. They actually are the nutrients in the ground that fortify the roots even more. So this blowing of the wind, this chaos is here to support you in shaking the limbs, releasing what no longer serves. Can you hear me okay? It looks like it's like, okay. My internet looks choppy. There you go. Mercury retrograde. Okay, cool. So here's an exercise for you to find out where your Chiron is. Look where your Chiron is in your chart. That is your soul lesson. Right now is a learning of our soul lessons. How we hold energy, the next season, planting the seeds. So this reflection is so good to see how far we've grown. We forget that we've grown. We just continue to power through. So upon reflection, then knowing I learned this lesson in this season, that this Chiron, what's my soul lesson? What's my next upgrade? What's the next seed I get to plant that supports my roots, my next journey that I'm going on? Hold what you are calling in, not looking outside of ourself. I am the source inside. Hello. I already channeled this. It is you are source. You are source. Take the time to tune in daily. I have really taken on the practice of the first hour or two of the day, and I know that sounds like a lot of time, but I'm a visionary. I have been visioning for years, and I'm a big like write things on the wall, write things down. And I've been honing in my practice even more to be in the feeling of my wishes fulfilled and allowing the information to be downloaded through me and not just doing for doing's sake. Even in this course that I am participating in, it is doing, but it comes from the download of knowing, of a knowingness, and taking action from that space and not just doing in the masculine, and allowing that to serve my day, to elevate my success and wealth in the world, and who I want to spend time with, where I want to spend time. I really get to be in partnerships with people that are elevating me, that are calling me forth. So whether it's a teacher or facilitator that really like you feel in your gut, like, this is resonating for me, that calls me forth, spend the time in this space. I love to listen to any of my teachers, and I go through phases of teachers. Like one can serve you for a season and then another one pops in. So know that the teachers and their wisdom come in flow, in phases. It's just like downloading in my brain, like in my computer brain, I'm getting their information downloaded, their wisdom to support me. Yeah, be conscious of the information, news, books on tape, YouTube videos that are playing in your background to support you. I am the expert of my life. It is my GPS. I am the expert of my life. You're the only one who knows what's right for you. Tune in more to you. Are you waiting for the time to be right? Are you waiting for the time to be right? So this is there is the cautionary tale of We are in retrograde. Don't take the action and the overthinking of the Virgo in the new moon. Uh, right. I have built a muscle of when I get a download, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time I will take the action on it. Like this week, I was just called to text. I texted Sarah Joy. I texted some people. It's just they popped in my mind. There was no need of information exchange. There was no like trying to get anywhere or do something. It was, I have a download to like just reach out to some people and check on them. And I did it as opposed to putting it on my calendar, because this is what I do. I write it down to do it later when it's a more convenient time. And then, of course, it doesn't get done. So following, not perfecting it, not having to have it look a certain way, because that creates self-sabotage and perfectionism. And that is a tendency in this season to over prepare, over think and get it right versus trusting yourself and taking the action. Now, the cautionary tale is don't make sweeping judgments or actions in this time. So the little actions, yes. If the action is, oh, I should go take a walk, take the walk. If the action is move to Mexico, don't move to Mexico quite yet. Hold on, Nelly. Whoa, Nelly. So, and it's asking us to free our expectations. We were just talking before we hit record here in Tribe about what were my expectations of this relationship? What are the expectations I put on myself and others around X, Y, and Z? And expectations are the thief of joy. The sooner we can share our wants, needs, and desires with our partners, with ourselves, even deflating that idea of putting an expectation on an event or a person or a thing or an exercise routine, even, and freeing ourselves from that and knowing that everything that comes our way is even better than what our vision that like we can comprehend. Again, chaos. It's okay if you are having emotion coming up, a little FOMO. Detachment of who you were, detachment, the old container, the old habits. It's okay to miss those parts of you. So, like when I was talking about the alcohol from the get-go, of that party girl, of that life of the party, and leaning, I leaned on that in order to be accepted, in order to have energy or to be fun, and thinking that that's the only way people can love or accept me. And there is a grieving of that version of ourself, that version of myself. So we were talking about my friend whose parents passed away, and child went to college, and her sandwich generation busyness of taking care of everybody else, and the grieving of being wanted, or her value being planted in the job of mom and caretaker. And so there is a grieving, a loss of always having something to do, knowing that there is always more, being stretched, having all this time, my worthiness of that I'm worth having time, having this space for myself. It feels selfish. It feels weird. I don't know what to do at this time. Who can relate? Like when grieving my old self, and now I get to create, and it's a bit, and we've talked about this, it's a big responsibility of, well, how am I filling my time? Am I filling my time with the right things? And then that judgment and self-sabotage comes in. So deep breath in. Let it out. Back to my practice. What you see is what you become. Feel it, see it, express it in the physical. When I give myself the time to explore it. All right, here are your prompts. Here are your prompts. The seeds I am planting are, so write this down, and then you can spend some time writing on it. The seeds I am planting are the second one, and you can come back to this because I know I'm going fast. I just want to get this in. What could get in the way is, what could get in the way of planting your seeds or watering your seeds? What could get in the way? Time, expectation, my own worth. What could get in the way? And then the actions I am taking are, so really it's the 3 C's that we always come back to: clarity, clearing, and committed action. But the more we identify them, the clearer we can see them when they pop up, so that we can let it go, acknowledge and let it go, and not just taking action for action's sake. So the seeds I am planting are, what could get in the way? The actions I am taking are, I hope this new moon, Virgo new moon happening on September 14th serves you. And leave your comments in the comment section. I'm Amber J. Until next time.